Llegó la primavera JCPenney con la última moda. Piezas cómodas y ligeras. Mezcla y combina lo nuevo de tus marcas favoritas y crea looks originales que se acomodan a tu presupuesto. Como las polos de St. John's Bay con un pantalón en algodón o un simple suéter y jeans de A&A. Encuentra el bolso de Liz Claiborne que siempre has querido y sandalias que combinen. Para noches más cálidas, elige pijamas ligeras y frescas de Ambriel. Trae a tu familia y descubran lo nuevo de primavera. JCPenney. Vale la pena.
This is a Fatal 4 podcast.
Bryant, is a machine! And Tralistico flying in. I'm not sure he got all of that.
I don't think he did. I don't think he got much of it at all.
This week on the show, Naomi and Bianca can act. Plus, Raw closes with an epic cage match that sets us up on the road to WrestleMania, where CM Punk's probably going to be in the main event. And AEW has a pay-per-view event that is tarnished by a questionable main event. Plus, we're called the Troll Podcast on Blue Sky for comparing AEW's recent streak of events to streaks in our MeUndies. Welcome to Didn't Get All of It. I'm Paul Griffin, and joining me are the rest of the Fatal 4. First, I didn't realize this until today, but the B stands for Bob. It's been Bob Rob all the time.
This is accurate.
It's Bob Rob.
Yes, Bob Rob here. I'm here to build the things.
Also here is Cody.
We get criticized on Blue Sky. Good thing nobody's on that fucking app for anybody to see it.
You don't even know how to work it.
I'm surprised Cody is able to even get out of his house. with how little he understands apps on his phone. If it wasn't for Pokemon Go, I think he would just run into the wall.
Sometimes I run into the wall because of Pokemon Go.
That's not good.
Speaking of gaming, a guy who has not sold his podcast to Saudi Arabia, it's Pro Wrestling Noah.
Oh, somebody did that?
That was Pokemon.
Okay.
Pokemon Go. The thing you all are talking about.
Pokemon Go to the progressive kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't Bob Rob the guy that had the big poofy hair and would draw little trees that were secret?
No, that's Bob Ross.
That's Bob Ross.
Yeah. That's right.
I thought you have ceremonial candles of that guy in your house since your wife's an artist.
I don't know if she's a fan of that kind of art.
Well,
I don't know.
All praise be to freaking
she draws
Bob
Pokemon on her
Ross.
computer.
Yeah.
Wasn't Bob Ross the queen of Motown?
What? It's Diana Ross. Might be his sister.
No, Diana was the one who got hit by the paparazzi in the car.
Oh, that was Queen Diana.
No, I think she was a princess.
Either or. She might have been a queen in certain circles.
Also, I thought Ross dated Rachel on Friends.
Huh.
Yeah, but they were on a break.
God's queen.
Well, yeah, but he also made cameos on AEW, with the Mogul Embassy and shit.
Hang
he
on,
also owned a lot of freaking
this one stumped me.
This one might be a bit of a jog.
Rick Ross.
Oh, that was extremely specific. That was a while ago.
Far be it for me to mention a black guy to a whole bunch of white people.
I don't know. I feel like I would have maybe gotten there quicker if you had said something about Keith Lee, because he had that thing with Keith Lee.
He doesn't have Ross in his name.
No, but Rick Ross, remember when he said, "You's a big motherfucker."
Shout out all the pairs. Anyway.
Hell of a start of the show.
Before we get into the show, I just want to drop some stuff in here that I've written down this time because I'm really bad at doing it off the cuff. Consider supporting us on Patreon. For only $3 a month, you can get access to the Discord and ad-free episodes. $5 a month will get you bonus shows, and we have a big mailbag episode to come later this month that we haven't announced yet. So spoilers for announcement coming. Plus, check out the other podcasts in the Fatal 4 podcast family, like Didn't Get All of It Japan for all your Japanese wrestling talk, Squirt Circle Strafe to enjoy your gaming, and Now That's What I Call Cinema for the week that was in movies. All that can be at fatal4pod.com. and also wherever you get your podcasts. Wow, that was so much better than last week. Look at us go.
Nailed it.
Speaking of going, AEW had a pay-per-view event, which some would say was going well until it wasn't.
Until the main event.
You guys want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's get into it, man.
I sure do.
So I think we have varying degrees of watch of this show, right?
Yeah, we tag team this one. I think I jumped into viewing after the Swerve versus Ricochet match, which I'm disappointed because I hear from Cody that match was very good.
Oh, it was. It's very nice. But let me see. I have the card right in front of me. Real quick, just to run through the pre-show stuff. There was Commander and Hologram as a tag team versus Lee Johnson and Blake Christian. Some names that you may not know. Who? Lee Johnson has been relegated to ROH, and Blake Christensen is a GCW staple, and he has been making a little bit of a impact, no pun related, in ROH as well. Beyond that, they had Daniel Garcia and the Undisputed Kingdom versus Shane Taylor Promotions, consisting of Carly Bravo, Lee Moriarty, and Captain Sean Dean. Some people that you may not know, they were there during the Dark Evolution and all those shows and whatnot, and they also have been relegated to ROH.
I hope the running bit of what you're doing right now is recapping the entire card, and as you say every match, you say some people you may not know, all the way through the main event.
Well, yeah, because I know you guys don't watch. And
saw the important part, which is the worst part of the show.
And the main event of the 0 hour, Big Boom AJ and the Conglomeration versus Johnny TV and MXM Collection, winning by pinfall. Big AJ got the pinfall in that match. And
I didn't see this whole match, but I did see the Rizzler coming out with Orange Cassidy in Orange Cassidy gear, and I did see Big Justice do a powerbomb from the turnbuckle.
Yeah, and the child almost got abused by the Mason Madden. But that was pretty much everything on 0 hour, and then we get to the first match of the main card, which opened up the show with Hangman Adam Page versus MJF. 19 minutes, 10 seconds. This was a good match from bell to bell, in my opinion. Did anybody else see this?
I wanted to. I need to go back and watch the replay. This and the Swerve things are the ones that I want to watch the most.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of half watched this one, not gonna lie.
Did it not catch your interest because who was involved, or what was the deal?
Not necessarily. I was just kind of trying to figure out like my watching situation.
Yeah, like you can barely get the apps together. I can imagine like trying to stream the thing from your thing to your TV.
Yeah, and it like it crashed twice. I had to download an app, and
yeah,
it's all confusing. But I did eventually get it working, and then I was like, I think I was eating dinner or something. I don't know. It didn't catch my interest. But I was fully sat for everything beyond the opening match.
Yeah. Well, I'll speak to it a little bit. I mean, I was also preoccupied during this portion. I was building entertainment shelves for my movie room while I had the iPad on a bench on the other side of the room, just kind of eyeballing this thing. These two fucked each other up. I mean, they...
Yeah, I will say I did see the... what's that move called? Not the...
Angels Wings?
Angels Wings, thank you.
Yeah, the MJF fully landed on his face.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
that looked rough.
And that was the thing about it, because like when you do those double underhook things, there's a point in the move whenever the opponent is going to make contact with the ground, you need to let go of his arm so he can protect himself. He did not do that. He did not let go of MJF's arms, early enough for him to like brace his fall on the mat. And nor did he like position his body in a way to where he can like land flat on his chest. So yeah, he ate that with all of his head and nose and face.
What an empty-headed dumb fuck Adam Page is, huh?
But all in all, it was a good match. The the match to follow this would be Mercedes Moné versus Momo Watanabe for the TBS Championship. Now, let's give you a little background on this. I know y'all kind of previewed the show on the last episode. I wasn't here to give you a little bit of the didn't get all of Japan
last week.
Yeah. Well, Momo Watanabe, she won a tournament to get this opportunity. The tournament, it went across multiple promotions. So it went across CMLL, it went across ROH, it went across AEW, obviously, and New Japan as well. So New Japan's would be Stardom. So all those promotions had individual tournaments to produce one winner to go on to a New Japan show where all the winners fought each other for this opportunity at a champion of their choosing from any of the promotions that participated in the tournament. And Momo Watanabe won, and she chose Mercedes Moné, champion of AEW.
Okay. For a shot at the TBS title?
Yes. So, like, whoever won the overall tournament got to pick any champion from any of the promotions that participated in the tournament at their champion. And she chose AEW for Mercedes.
Gotcha.
So what you're telling me is I need to watch She-Hulk in order to understand the new Captain America movie.
No, not really. But I mean,
that's what I'm hearing. It's my biggest problem with this match. I really liked this match. I thought
it was good. Yes,
very, very good. Except for the crowd was not into it at all. They were not invested. They do not care about anything Mercedes Moné is doing anymore. They chant CEO because it's fun to do a sing-along at a wrestling show, and then the bell rings, and she puts on a fantastic performance, and the crowd sits on their hands because she's in there with people that they do not know, they do not care about. There's zero investment into any of her stories.
Well, I thought it was the contrary. Well, I will agree with you to a point to where, like, there was mention of this tournament, like, in passing. It was like no build-up. There was no packages thrown out there. There was not a lot of talk about the tournament leading up to this because it took a while for this tournament to, produce a winner. But the match itself, I thought, was good. And as far as the crowd goes, they were against Mercedes. And they were cheering Momo because there were Momo chants throughout the match and everything. And there was, like, in the opposition of CEO.
Like, it picked up towards the end because the match was getting very good, and they did win the crowd over, but, like, a good portion of the start of this match was the crowd was pretty dead.
Yeah. And I think it was, I think this is the second match between these two. So I think it was kind of more of I can't really say, like, a filling out process, but it's a different, because they wrestled in Japan, I think the first time, or like in Cali or some shit. And it was like way different from what we saw here tonight, which, I mean, these two are good together. And Momo was like beating the shit out of Mercedes.
Yeah, she like kicked her fucking teeth in at one point.
It was great.
She definitely got a stinger. She posted about it the next day, but no, I did. I enjoyed the actual match itself. I thought this is my first time ever seeing Momo Watanabe wrestle, and I thought she was good.
And also, side note, Momo is Kaz's favorite female wrestler right now.
Okay. Let me counter that with, has he heard of Bianca Belair?
I'm talking about for Japan. We do a Japan show. Come on, man.
Oh, okay.
Has you heard of Io Sky?
Hey, man. Chill out.
Sorry, I just brought up a Japanese wrestler. What are you going to do about it, huh? Kaz isn't here to defend himself. It's fine.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, hey, man. To each his own.
We'll see if he listens to the show. This is how we find out. Who else should we name drop to see if they listen? Barack Obama?
You didn't get all of it?
It's pretty okay.
Yeah. But, I mean, all in all, great match. I mean, crowd aside, I mean, from bell to bell, I think the match was delivered. Next on the card, we had Swerve Strickland versus Ricochet And this match would determine the next number one contender for the AEW World Championship. Thoughts?
This match should not be a number one contenders match for the world title. This should be for the world title.
No shit, right?
This is infinitely better than every single thing they're doing in the main event picture.
Exactly. And I got thoughts about that when we get to Dynamite. I mean, because I'm echoing that sentiment.
I would say, like, story-wise, match-wise, everything about this is the best thing AEW's got going right now.
It has a
coherent story.
Yeah. Yes, it's coherent. It's very clear what's going on. There's clear characters. Like, Ricochet is an annoying, whiny little bitch, and he plays that role so well. And it's amazing that, like, how did no one in WWE ever, like, tap into that? Like, they always tried to get him to cut promos, and they always sucked. Because he was trying to do this, like, babyface, like, rah-rah guy who just, it came off as disingenuous, and that's why the crowd didn't buy into it. I can believe that Ricochet's kind of a douchebag.
I can believe he's just like a super dork, and he don't know how to handle his faculties.
That too. Like, it's great character work, and then this match itself was fucking fantastic. Like, I know we're early on in the year, but I think I can say right now this is my favorite match of 2025.
Damn.
And it was so good. Like, it had tons of great action, like some sick high spots. Swerve, I thought, was going to die at one point when he took a Death Valley driver to the floor. And the story stuff with Nana was so good. Like, Swerve getting overzealous and snapping on him, and Nana storming off,
flipping the bird and everything.
Had like the emotional beats of being like, "Oh no, please! Like, I do not want to see Swerve and Nana break up." And then he comes back for the big payoff, and Swerve wins, and it was, I don't know, this was great. Like, Noah, you didn't see this?
Yeah, I really need to see it.
Please go back and see it.
It is very much worth going out of your way and watching this. For this match alone. Yeah.
So first three matches on the main card, I would recommend, but out of the three, this one I would recommend the most. For Noah, who didn't see those first two matches.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm for sure going to go back and watch that.
Question for you, Cody. I know you have trouble using the Discord app and everything, which you too can get access to the exclusive Discord if you go to fatal4pod.com. That's FOUR. And we have a poll. I mean, not a poll, but a thread for each show. Didn't get all of it in, didn't get all of it Japan, to where you can just drop in your matches of the year contenders.
What? Where's that?
I want to know that if you knew that.
We do?
Yes.
I did not know
That's going to make things really easy.
Yes. So I just wanted to make you all aware if you didn't know that, but specifically Cody.
We need to add under like politics news, like biggest news stories of the year, so we can revisit that too in our year-end shows.
Well, I'll in between.
I don't know how to do it.
I'll do it.
I didn't even know we had that thread, and I'm there all day.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll teach me during the break.
Noted. Next, we had Kazuchika Okada versus Brody King for the Continental Championship. So going in, I already knew Brody King wasn't going to win, but like I wanted to know how that situation would have went if he did win, because I mean, they're making big changes with that group since, you know, Malachi or Alistair is away from the company now, and they are without a leader, and they say they don't need one. They're a collective. So there's been changes within the group. Buddy Matthews has been having some good single matches, and Brody King has been emerging as a great singles competitor. So I wanted to see how that would look if he was Continental Champion, but alas, you know, spoilers, we didn't get that. What do you think of this match, anybody who saw it?
It was fine. Didn't really have anything super memorable. I felt this match felt the most out of place out of everything on the card. Like, there were worse matches on the card, and we will definitely get to that.
Wait a minute, I'm looking at the match lineup right now. I'm interested to see which one is worse. I could probably see the next one, but I want to know.
The main event. I meant like
okay.
match quality wise.
Okay, I got you.
There were worse matches, but just from like a importance and big match feel standpoint, like this, I don't know, this could have just been on Collision or something.
Yeah,
I don't think this needed to be here. Yeah,
I agree with that. Noah, I know you like the Hellhounds or whatever the fuck they call themselves now. So what?
Yeah, the Hounds.
Did you see this one?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with Cody in that. Yeah, this definitely felt like a warm-up match before what would be like kind of the 3 main events and then the disaster that was the actual main event.
Yeah, I feel that. And like, I mean, when this match was announced, I was intrigued because I'm familiar with both individuals, you know, within AEW and beyond AEW, but it was just like clear cut, you know who was going to win this shit.
Yeah.
And then we, with the Continental title, I mean, we have some news on that a little bit later that we'll talk about and whatnot. I'm interested to see where it goes forward because there was and is a tournament for this specific title and whatnot that's yearly, but you know, the fate of that might be changing.
That's a fun tournament too. I hope they get that.
Really is. Next, we have the Hurt Syndicate versus the Outrunners for the AEW.
Wait, hold on. I may want to take back what I just said. I
forgot this happened too. Yeah,
I forgot this happened. This match definitely did not need to be on the card.
Yeah, I mean,
people love the Outrunners.
Yeah, and I appreciate it for what it was, but like the underlying thing of it all is just like MVP was the MVP of this whole thing, to where it was like the way you feel about these two fighting each other is how MVP played his role. He's like, how the fuck you letting these guys do this thing to you? And that's abundant because it's the shortest match on the card, including the pre-show.
Dang, yeah, that checks out. I mean, this really didn't have to be any longer than that because we all knew that. Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate was going to walk away with this one.
I mean, a little bit of fan service or whatever, but like the thing that made you mad, MVP emphasized in his character work or whatever. Yeah. He's like, you letting these guys do that to you? And like, whenever the Outrunners got some significant offense or whatever, MVP was in their ear like, nah, you don't let them do that to you. You don't let these guys do that to you. Yeah, kill these fools, you know? So like, I appreciated that whole aspect of it because how you may feel looking at this match, MVP, you know, embodied that.
I like that take.
Yeah, I did. Next, which, Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May, Falls Count Anywhere match, or the Hollywood ending for the AEW Women's Championship. Let me know what you feel.
I was skeptical of this match going in because
they did it so much and they still fucking around with each other.
Yeah, well, like I think I said it last week that Grand Slam Australia felt like the conclusion to the story.
Yeah, I did too.
But boy, did they find a way to pull out an even more climactic conclusion to their feud with this match. Holy shit, this was so good.
Cody, what are your thoughts, man?
I have some thoughts.
You got some thoughts?
I have never been a big fan of Toni Storm.
I knew you was going to say that.
It is well documented on probably this podcast and podcasts of my past lives. I've never really enjoyed her work. I did not enjoy the Timeless Toni Storm character. It's just too cartoony and over the top for me. I also do not really love deathmatch wrestling.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not your thing, so I can understand that.
Yeah. At least for the sake of just doing it as a spectacle. If there's, you know, warranted story and build towards it, then I can accept it. Let me finish, B-Rob.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All of that being said, I fucking loved this match.
Yeah!
This was... Look, I'm going to be one of those guys. This was cinema. This was absolutely...
If you could say that about anything, that like this would be the one. Yeah, thank you, B-Rob. This would be the match because it is actually attempting to like do cinema.
I don't know the last time that I've done this for a wrestling match. I watched this live, and then less than 24 hours later, I watched it again.
Good.
From start to finish.
Good. In that thread
so
that
good.
I mentioned earlier, I have this as a match of the year contender.
It's on mine as well. I don't know if I liked this better than Swerve and Ricochet, but this was very, very good. I will say my two complaints about it was I did not like the broken glass
I get you, yeah.
hand tape spot. Not for the violence aspect of it, because again, I do feel like this is an instance where this violence was earned. I didn't like the choreographedness of it, where they both just so happen to go outside and grab buckets of broken champagne glasses and tape and have the exact same idea at the exact same time.
The thing that I loved though was when Mariah was getting ready for it, you could tell on her face oh, I don't think I am prepared for this.
Right.
Tony's let's fucking go.
Just them both having coincidentally having the same thought at the same time and having both of those things set up there was kind of ugh. It took me out of it.
And then, but for me, we talking about cinema and everything. I mean, this is a call to fucking the Van Damme movie. I think it was a Bloodsport to where the Kumite, man, they put the gloves and the hand wraps and the glue and then the glass and they fought each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like to go with Noah's point of her looking reluctant. I feel like it should have been more of Tony gives her the bucket and kind of forces her to do it.
Yeah, let's go.
Something like that,
Little tweaks. I can understand that.
Yeah. But yeah, and then the only other complaint I have is commentary. Jim Ross should not have been on the call here.
Yeah, that was unfortunate to have him on for this match specifically.
It's JR now, it's he tries so hard to be woke or to be so
but it's the same.
Please don't cancel me.
But it's also the same thing too, to where anything he says is just regurgitated from JR of the past. You're he's repeating quips and the same lines that we are used to hearing from JR years and years and years and years ago.
But saying stuff these are two of the biggest women stars, or I retract that, the two biggest stars. I've never seen anything like this from women or men, or and just pointing out that they're women constantly, and it was just what does that matter? Just call the fucking match.
Yeah.
So if you, it gave very much. You guys see y'all have seen Get Out.
Yes.
It reminds me of I would have voted for Obama 3 times. It's so just please, JR, we get it. You're not on woke, but just shut up, please, and call the match.
Yeah.
So take him off commentary, get rid of that glove spot, and this would have been a 5-star.
I will say the only thing that I felt left kind of wanting out of this match was I really wish that the table at the end broke just a little bit more. It got just a little bit of a fracture in there. It made it look good for that over top shot at the very end with them laying on each other, and you got to have the full graphic on the table. But I wish it would have been a little bit more climactic had it actually broken in a big way.
Speaking of all the gore and carnage and everything, what did we think about the blood?
There was much blood,
so much.
There was a lot. Tony she
cut
really
too deep.
You could see it pumping out of her face actively. That was crazy.
Made for some great visuals. And again, this wasn't just a random match on a Rampage.
Yeah.
This was a culmination of a year-plus story where these two women absolutely hate each other. It made sense and it worked. And this is when you should do this.
And according to Wikipedia, time-wise, this went exactly the same amount of time as the pre-show with Big Boom, AJ, and all them. 12 minutes, 55 seconds.
I loved about this match. It was short. It was it was the perfect, not short, but the perfect
fluff.
length. Exactly. It was any longer and it might have gotten egregious. Any shorter, it would have been too quick. This match was damn near perfect.
Yeah, because they did a lot of crazy shit or whatever. Because it shouldn't have been one of those hologram matches to where we get 3 Canadian destroyers and they pop up and they fight another whole fucking sequence and all kind of crazy shit like that.
Yeah.
But final thoughts on this.
The pullout at the end with like the camera like with the Titantrons showing the end was
I like
perfect,
that.
amazing.
Yeah, like a serious shout out to whoever like directed this, and the shots, like the overhead shot of Toni Storm in the ring, all bloody.
Oh yeah, that was wild.
The shots after the pinfall, and like when they came back from replay, and Toni was like caressing her. Like, fantastic.
Good shit.
Really, really good shit.
So now we're in the final 3 of this pay-per-view and everything. The next match that we have on the card is Kenny Omega facing...
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. I was looking at my notes. I do have one other point I wanted to make.
Tell me more.
So the big payoff with the shoe was also great.
Oh, yeah,
Call back to the original turn from Raya May, bringing out the heel, beating her with that at the end.
Watch
Love
for
that.
the shoe.
Oh, and also I like the video package that they did for this.
Yes, that was good too.
Speaking of video packages, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like to go back to the Hangman Adam Page and MJF. What did y'all think about the video package for that?
I missed it, to be honest.
I missed it
did?
too.
You should check that out, because it was like old school WWE style or whatever, to where they had like a line in the promo that correlated to a song, and they had like the song playing in the background throughout the whole promo.
So, yeah, they used Bullet.
Bullet
song from SmackDown vs. Raw 2007.
Yeah, there you
Bullet
go.
with a name or something. Yeah. I did not watch it, but I like heard that.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, finish your thought.
So my just thought was, I don't know why, but I realized 3 of my favorite wrestling matches of the past like year or so have all involved clothing or accessories somehow. I loved this match and the involvement of the shoe. I loved the match earlier with Ricochet and Swerve, which revolved around a robe. And then, of course, last year, my favorite feud, Punk and Drew McIntyre, revolved around a bracelet.
But the bracelet.
So, I don't know. Pro wrestling bookers, if you're listening to this, just have people fight over some fashion stuff. And you got
attachment to something. Yeah.
You got me hooked. All right, let's talk about Kenny Omega. And
speaking of fashion, these guys had a matching Hajime no Ippo gear.
Yeah, exactly.
Which was pretty cool. Very much.
I'm sorry. Can you explain me what you just said?
Hajime no Ippo is an anime about boxing. It's a boxing shonen sports anime. And Kenny Omega actually just has a lot of Kenny Omega lore, because apparently Kenny Omega learned Japanese specifically to read the untranslated manga, because he had watched all of the anime and wanted to read past where the anime was at that point.
Yeah, and he's like fluent in Japanese.
That is some B-Rob shit if I ever heard.
Hey, it'd be like that sometimes. I got to work on my Japanese though. So I will preface this. This is the last 3 cards on the match, and they are all over 20 minutes. So this match specifically, 28 minutes, 30 seconds. The match to follow this, 29 minutes. And the match to follow the main event is 26 minutes, 35 seconds. So what did we think?
Was a little rough.
Yeah. So what did we think about the International Championship match between Kenny Omega and Konosuke Takeshita?
It was just too long for me. That was my biggest complaint.
Yeah.
Like, it was fine, but you could have trimmed a lot of fat here.
Yeah, you could.
Especially, like, coming off of the high of that women's match. Mm-hmm. It was just a little dragged on a little too much for me.
Mm. Yeah, and it was just like, I kind of felt that, I mean, it was still good. I enjoyed it from bell to bell, but it was just like...
A lot of kickouts.
Yeah, a lot. So many. And I mean, these are generational athletes as well. It's just like, this is Kenny Omega coming back to form. This is the Kenny Omega that I was used to in New Japan prior to coming to AEW, you know? So it was just cool to see these two meet up like this, because Takeshita has been killing it in the States and in Japan. And I've been watching all of it, and I've been enjoying every single bit of it. And, you know, given the conclusion of this match, it seems like across the board, you know, stateside and Japan and beyond, that they've been pumping up Takeshita for this specific moment. And I kind of don't like that.
Dang. That he didn't, like, retain.
Yes.
Yeah. This definitely did though feel like Kenny's like kind of statement of like I'm back after the diverticulitis situation.
Which I'm not totally mad at, but like I love Takeshita.
Takeshita deserves things. Takeshita deserves to do great things.
To me, Takeshita, like currently as we speak, Takeshita has a 3-contract deal with 3 different companies.
Yeah,
his home company of DDT in Japan. He has a year contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he has a contract with AEW right now. And he's been killing it across all 3 platforms. And I swear to you, given his performance up until this point, I mean, and I'm not saying that it was bad, but he deserves to be world champion of all 3 of these promotions at the same fucking time.
Yeah. I did like, though, how, like Kenny Omega won, and I do like that they are now having the tournament to determine who gets to face him next at Dynasty.
And he deserves that. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Gives them time to regroup and everything while they do the tournament and whatnot, and just like prepare for, who the champion is.
Yeah. And Dynasty's in like less than a month. So,
But thoughts, Cody?
I don't really have much else to add, to be honest. I thought it was just a little too long, but mostly fine.
Cool. Well, to move on beyond that, I mean, Kenny Omega did win. He is now the international champion. We move on to Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher in a steel cage match. Yes. So, like, I feel like because these guys went on after Tony Storm and Mariah May, and they were just like, well, fuck.
Yeah, so a big criticism I have with the rest of the show is that the pacing was off. Like, I don't know, they should have moved maybe the tag match into this spot or the spot after the cage, break it up a little bit.
Move the cage and street fight away from each other a little bit.
Yeah, but also, like, I don't know. I think it was a little too much to have this and the women's match on the same card. Like,
I can agree.
I feel like the producers should have talked about it more, and either like I don't think they should have done as much color in the steel cage match.
I still really like this though.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was okay. I see. My complaint is that this violence didn't feel as earned, and I know this has been like a heated feud for a little bit now, but
I feel like this, like,
it was a drastic jump.
Yeah, it was like a stop and start. And start.
Yeah, like the Hollywood ending has been a continuous story, whereas this
has
one
not stopped.
This one is at like feeding off of more of like the context of Kyle and Will's relationship over the years.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I loved like basically everything they did up until they started bleeding. I loved. Like, I really liked how Will Ospreay started the match, and they emphasized on commentary that this is the first time Will Ospreay's ever been in a steel cage match. And
not accurate.
Oh, really?
No. So Will Ospreay, prior to AEW, was contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and his last match was with the stable, the United Empire, which Kyle Fletcher was and Mark Davis was a part of. It was a steel match against the Bullet Club War Dogs.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and that was significant in itself because New Japan does not do a lot of cage matches at all. So that was his last match in New Japan prior to him departing to AEW.
Interesting. Okay, well, I didn't know that. And commentary, they definitely said that this was his first cage match. And not only that, but it played into, like, Ospreay was like thrown off by the cage. Like, he went to do his springboard and he couldn't,
I've seen that,
because the cage was in the way. And then he does his like handstand thing, you know, where he, like what Tajiri used to do, the handstand into the springboard off the ropes, but he does that and he like hurts his ankle on the steel cage.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
went for
really
the Os cutter, I thought he was going to fuck it up.
Yeah, like I thought that was really clever, and I don't know that I've ever seen someone utilize the fact that it's their first cage match as much as Will Ospreay was doing. Turns out everyone's a fucking liar, but that's fine. That's what pro wrestling is. So I still liked it.
Yeah.
But I just thought everything after they started bleeding just kind of became a little bit too, I don't want to say grotesque, but just like too over the top, and then too overbooked with like Mark Davis getting involved.
Yeah.
And then he starts bleeding like a fucking pig, and it's just like,
so I'm
too
gonna
much
tell
is
you,
going on.
I'm gonna tell you also my gripe with this match: the screwdriver.
The screwdriver was.
He stabbed him in the rib. He stabbed him in the back. There was no blood in those specific areas or whatever. If you want to emphasize that he stabbed him with a sharp, blunt or a blunt object,
a little silly,
or whatnot. And then they did the thing to where they stabbed a turnbuckle or whatever to show you that, hey, this thing was fucking sharp. But prior to that, you stabbed him in the ribs and you stabbed him in the back, and there's no blood.
Yeah, that's fair. But the styles clash on the tax.
Yes.
What do we think about that? That was crazy.
Very much so.
Yeah.
There was definitely lots of crazy spots. I mean, the Os Cutter off the cage was very cool.
What hell? The freaking
Spanish
fly off the cage.
Yeah,
Holy
that
shit.
was the landing wasn't the cleanest, but like
It was safe.
What do you right, exactly. And like holy shit. Like either way, that was definitely crazy. I wish they would have just ended the match there though, because I hated the ending. I cannot stand
ending.
No, man. I can't stand like fuck. Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time, but fuck him and Ric Flair for WrestleMania 24 because they ruined,
I love you.
Yes, they ruined an entire generation of wrestlers.
Yeah,
with
they
that
did.
spot.
I mean, that's like a prominent spot in the indies.
It's fucking terrible, and they did that here with the whole like he's just standing there waiting for the hit and being like, "I fucking hate you, and then he hits him, and it's like, ugh, it's such an eye roll.
Well, I mean, what about prior when we watched the Elimination Chamber when John Cena's sitting there screaming at CM Punk, "I'm sorry."
Seth Rollins screaming "Die" on the outside of the cage.
That's different though. That's someone yelling
that.
like
yeah.
that's someone yelling at someone in a moment, and like. But this is just, I hate when a wrestler just stands there and accepts their fate and like takes the hit. Like it's stupid. It's cheesy and it's overdone. I don't like it.
We don't have too many final thoughts on that. Will Ospreay wind up walking away with this, and I think they said that like they're 1-1, so there might be continuation to this.
That's insane. There should not be another match after this.
Yeah, no. I mean, a cage or something like that, or some kind of structure or a street fight.
Yeah, that's the blow off.
That has a finality to it, and this should have been that. And if they had more beyond this, it should have been, the steel cage then, not now. But I mean, what would you have did in this spot?
It should have been booked differently, and the finish should have been not what it was. For
Yeah.
example, we're going to talk about it later, but look at Monday Night Raw. That's how you do a steel cage match and present it as a blow-off, but book it in a way that there's a continuation.
You know what they should do?
This should be the end.
AEW loves bringing back WCW, match types.
Triple cage.
For their
Triple cage.
For their third match, they should bring back scaffold matches.
Oh no!
Spanish fly off the scaffold.
No,
Through another scaffold.
Triple cage from Ready to Rumble.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
What was that called? Was it just called Triple Cage, or
It
was
was
there...
like the kennel, dog pound match, kennel something from hell. I don't know.
That was something different. That was
I don't know.
That was like a.
But I know 3 stages of hell.
Oh
Sure.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah. Where you like start at the top and work your way to the bottom,
Or vice versa, either or.
Yeah.
But yeah, well let's eke this out, y'all.
Oh, do we have to?
Yeah, let's get it done because I got to use the restroom. John Moxley, the current.
Don't worry, Copeland and Moxley already used the restroom all over the fucking ring mat and our television screens.
So John
This fucking
Moxley
sucked.
Well, come on, man. Let me tell you what it is. It's John Moxley.
Shit, that's what it is.
John Moxley, the current briefcase world champion, versus Adam Copeland and everything. So here we go. 26 minutes, 35 seconds of disdain that I have in this match.
Hang on. I tuned in.
I was gonna say, someone wake
24. They were wrestling for 24 minutes before I tuned in.
Well, Paul,
and that was still bad.
Paul, go ahead and kind of like give us your insight on what you did see or whatever. I'm gonna step away for a second.
All I saw from this was Christian cash in his clipboard in the bank and immediately lose.
This was look. We've talked about how shit the main event scene for AEW has been for weeks now. The story going in was terrible. The crowd was completely, rightfully, and justifiably dead for this match. You could hear a pin drop for a very long stretch of this match.
Yeah.
And it's what these performers and this company deserves for putting on such a shit program. This is terrible. And there was a spot early on where they're doing the whole, like, trying to do the booyah type thing, and they're just hitting each other with forearms back and forth, and it was completely silent. Nobody cared.
Which is crazy, because Lyra Valkyria gets that almost weekly. So that should say something.
Yeah. This is terrible. There was overbooked nonsense with, like, Wheeler Yuta getting involved and Jay White.
And then, well, let me speak to the Wheeler Yuta shit. It pissed me off so much because earlier in the week, him and Adam Copeland had that match to where, like, they fed the narrative of, like, there might be some dissension between Yuta and, Mox because,
again?
Yeah, the respect angle because, Copeland stated prior to this match that he was going to take out the Death Riders one by one, and he did that up until he got to Wheeler Yuta to where they had a legit wrestling match on Dynamite. And at the end of the match, Cope brought him up, shook his hand, and told him, loud enough so the mic can pick it up, that this is what respect feels like. And it left Yuta conflicted because this was a person that he hated, that Mox told him that, is the enemy, that, like, he sicked, Mox sicked Yuta on him, all this time. And for him to show him respect in that match, it left him conflicted. So now, flash forward to this, after that moment, Yuta is just like, oh, that shit didn't happen. Fuck that.
Hey, I think this Yuta guy might be beyond repair at this point.
I don't think so. It's just like, if you separate him from this group and have him do other things like maybe fucking TNT title or back to ROH for the pure or
but
even...
hang on. The guy that has the TNT championship right now was separated from a group and got the title, and look where he's at. Keep looking. You'll find him eventually. Who exactly?
Wait, Who is the TNT champion?
Oh, it's Daniel Garcia.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's doing it. Yeah, he's over there.
See, your solution has already been tried, and it is not true.
Yeah.
But they keep putting him in groups, so, like, I don't know what that's about.
It's all bad. The Yuta shit should have happened months ago.
And that was the thing about it. It's just like, he was the pure champion before the Death Riders, and it was fine. They sent him to New Japan and had him in the Best of Super Juniors tournament, and he did outstanding. And, he's part Japanese. So it's just like, it was fine. But then they grouped him into this Death Rider shit. And I believe it was more so in part because of Daniel Bryan, who isn't even fucking around anymore. And, like, now he's just floundering.
I mean, the whole main event act is floundering.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it.
And the Christian stuff didn't help.
Nope.
Christian comes in, looks like a complete idiot.
Why did he cash in?
Fucking stupid. Well,
why did he cash in before the pinfall?
Do you want the real answer, Noah? It's because Cope doesn't want to take a pin.
That's
the real answer. Cope doesn't want to take a pin, so they do it this way. But that's fucking stupid. Don't put yourself in that situation. Idiotic.
And then also, like, I mean, they tried to explain it off on Dynamite to where, like, Christian said when he cashed in, he told the rest specifically that he wanted a one-on-one match with Cope.
What?
That's not how that works. Did he not watch WrestleMania 31?
Yeah.
He should have just waited 2 more seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, like, I mean, that goes with everything that I said. I wasn't here last week, but I said that all up in the Discord and, prior to that moment, and speaking of Discord, you can be a part of the Discord if you go to fatal4pod.com, FOUR. And I said Cope wins this match, then Christian cashes in, which can further their thing that they have or whatever, which will eventually devolve into them being on the same side and being a tag team.
We fantasy booked a ton of stuff last week.
Yeah,
that
no
was
shit.
infinitely better than this. And
Yes.
I don't know. The ideas are free, guys. You can have some of them if you want people to enjoy your product.
Yeah.
And the other big complaint I have about this, I think I can confidently say that Bryce Remsburg is the worst referee in the history of the business. I cannot fucking stand watching matches that he refs.
So what? Hold on. I know what you just said, but if you had to book a death match between Bryce Remsburg and Aubrey Edwards, who would win?
Me when they both die.
So it'd be a Hollywood ending where they both.
Yes. So bad. So what happens is there's a ref bump. He oversells like crazy. He's down and out. And then when it's time to make the pin cover, he crawls over and so slowly, so dramatically, 1, 2. It's fucking atrocious. He's trying to be the center of attention.
Also, as soon as he was done with that, he was right back to normal.
Right, exactly. And then the next pin cover he made, which was like less than 90 seconds later, was perfectly regular paced. Get off my TV, please.
Yeah. So that's cool. They spent all that time building up Christian as guy with clipboard.
Yeah, and then also with that as well, they left him off of TV, both brands, for like a good bit. Just to, like the WWE thing, the Money in the Bank, you have them lose, or you have them absent to where, they make the cash in and, it's a thing. You're like, oh shit, I forgot about this. But, my God.
Utterly pointless. Match sucked. Moxley won just straight up, which is just fucking.
Yeah, so
disgusting.
The last time I checked on this match, out of the whole pay-per-view, Cage Match rated this match like a 3-point something.
That is 3-point something too high.
Yeah, I believe it.
Complete garbage. The
What
only
unfortunate end to the show.
Well, that's the thing is, they knew how shit of an ending that was going to be, and that's why they sent Swerve out there at the end to at least do something cool to send the crowd home somewhat happy.
The overall rating out of 10 on Cage Match for the pay-per-view is 8.484. But if you go down to the match with Christian, the main event, they have it rated at a 3.4.
Seems high.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was a mostly good show with some, seriously all-time great wrestling matches.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything
that was just tainted with a horrible main event.
Yeah. Everything on this match card, according to Cage Match, is in the green other than the tag match, which you spoke about earlier, and the main event. The tag match, which got a higher rating of 4.68.
All right. Well, great. You guys want to take a break and talk about the news and other stuff from the week of wrestling?
Pretty much.
All right. When we come back, we're going to talk about a little bit of Dynamite and the wrestling news this week. And later, WWE had a bunch of shows that were pretty good.
One thing I learned about podcasters, y'all know what you're going to talk about before anybody else does. So thank you for teaching me that. And We're back with, didn't get all of it. We are going to talk about Dynamite and some wrestling news.
Wait, what's the reference?
Oh, you didn't see that?
No, what is that?
So during Revolution, they had the cast and crew of Queen of the Ring.
Yeah.
And some bitch, I don't know who she is, some actress,
goddamn,
said that, but not podcasters. She said,
"Oh yeah,
pro wrestling," and not what are you going to talk about, but who's going to win. She goes. She literally said, "One thing I learned about pro wrestlers: y'all know who's going to win before anybody else does." So thank you for teaching me that.
Booed her.
Yeah, they actively booed her.
I don't understand. Like, what was she doing? Like, what was she thinking she was accomplishing by saying that?
I mean, why are they booing? They're all in on it.
She's exposing the business, brother.
I thought AEW fans were the smart ones. Shouldn't they know that?
But no, it's not even the issue of like, oh my god, she's breaking kayfabe. It's just like, yeah,
That
and
was
like, what are
stupid
you
as
saying?
shit.
Like, why are you even saying that? Like, what does that have to do with anything? Very
Okay.
dumb. Very.
That's
dumb.
a good. That was good. Good intro.
Yeah,
way better
thanks.
than the last one you did.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, who wants to talk about Dynamite? Let's wrap up this AEW talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Kenny Omega came out there and gave a heartfelt speech. You know, he's the champion now. He's waiting for the person to goddamn, win the tournament so he can show why he's the best bout machine, yada, yada, yada. I'm back to form. I'm ready to fight and shit like that. So that was the thing.
And your boy debuted, right, B-Rob?
Yes.
The guy with the no shoes.
Uh-huh. But that was later.
Tell me about why I should care.
Dude is a outstanding performer, dog. So, I mean, it's later on in the card, but I mean, we can skip to that now because I mean, everything else is just like the ops had a 3.
Yeah.
B-Rob, I don't know if you know the name of this podcast, but we're not talking about the fucking ops. All right, we're not getting all of it. Let's talk about this speedball guy who looks like a 12-year-old with no shoes on, running around the playground.
Well, I mean, he's non-binary. We'll just throw that out there now. Whatever that means, the gimmick.
God.
Classic callback.
But he uses he they pronouns, I believe, right?
No, I've
no.
seen. Yeah,
He's
it's
not.
they them.
Oh, it's just they them.
Yeah.
All right, my bad.
Yeah. Respect. But he was the wild card against Beast Mortos in this AEW Dynasty tournament.
Beast Mortos. His opponent had Mortos out.
Okay, yeah, hang on. So you guys are like really laying into this. What about Matt Riddle?
You shouldn't show feet for free.
No
wonder it took him so long to make it onto TV.
I mean, and then like Rusev learned that later on in his career or whatever, because he started off wrestling with no shoes and everything.
Fuck you guys. I'm on their Twitter X page right now, and it says he them. So,
Hey,
it's he
I
them.
don't know.
Okay, there you go.
They said
y'all ain't gonna outwoke me. All right.
He's them confusing the hell out of me.
That's gimmicks, man. The fucking gimmicks.
We're gonna get
Anyway,
in so much trouble on Blue Sky.
God.
they'll be all right.
No over there being like, my pronouns are pro wrestling.
That's not what I say.
That's what you say.
Could you please put that in your bio, pro/wrestling?
Oh man, y'all get nowhere in trouble.
It's 2025. The president is Trump. We're allowed to do that now.
Yeah, he says all kind of wild shit.
Not to.
Anyway, the wild card for this was Speedball Mike Bailey or whatever, making his AEW debut. He signed with the company recently, leaving from TNA Impact, which he was highly unutilized. He should have been the fucking world champion before he exited it at one point or whatever. And I'm pretty sure it led to his overall departure from that company. And aside from Scott D'Amore being fired from that company, which he was doing all the good over there and just shaping that company, getting it in good order and everything. I mean, the rise of Joe Hendry and all kinds of things, Jordan Grace stuff. Scott D'Amore was the man behind all that, and fucking Anthem got rid of him. Anyway, I digress. Shout out to Taz. He made his debut against Beast Mortos, and what you saw here, it was a great match, but this is only the tip of the iceberg. He has a lot more in store. I've seen a lot more from Speedball Mike Bailey, and I believe, since he's moving forward in the tournament, he advances to the Fatal 4-Way match that will decide the freaking number one contender for Kenny Omega's International Championship, and I believe he's saving it for that. I mean, I know you only got a tidbit, a morsel, if you will, but what did we think of this match for whoever who saw it?
It was fine. Like, he seems like a capable performer.
Mm-hmm.
He does the kicks.
Oh, yeah.
He does the kicks. He does the flips. He'll fit right in with the rest of the mid-carders who do the kicks and the flips.
Yeah. And there's more kicks and flips to come.
He's got to get rid of that mouth guard, though.
Nah, that's
he looks like the new Trivago guy. Have you seen that dude with his fake ass teeth? He got too many fake teeth.
I did. I mean, and I think that was the thing for him too, as well. Because when I first come across Speedball Mike Bailey, the mouth guard was like the emphasis or whatever, because it gave off douche vibes or whatever. Because I believe when I first came across him, he was a heel, but he's like the same guy, but the mannerisms changed ever so slightly to where like, who the fuck is this guy? I mean, because Paul, you even pointed it out, the fucking haircut. I mean,
I hate his haircut.
Yeah, douche. I mean, the mouth guard, douche. I mean, it's just like he gives
the
off
shoes, douche.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he gives off those vibes, and it's like ever so slightly leans to either side, where he can be a good babyface or a good heel. And like I said, this was my what 2023 or 2022 Wrestler of the Year. I mean, I love Speedball Mike Bailey.
Look, I missed the first hour of the show, I think.
Yeah, you was doing stuff.
I watched the second hour, and I don't know if I would have paced the show this way, where the show ended with Mike Bailey just doing a stare down with Orange Cassidy, who wasn't even featured on the pay-per-view the night or the week prior. Like,
well, she was. She was
in
close
with a big
the
main
pre-show.
event angle.
He was in the pre-show.
No, that does not count for anything.
But Big Boom AJ was there.
I don't know who that is.
Costco guy.
I'm a Sam's Club member.
Oh yeah, you're right. True that.
I should probably be a Costco guy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, granted, with all the stuff that happened with Cope and Mox, you know, I don't know. I appreciated this over the show ended with that.
Sure. I mean, whatever.
Yeah. But I love Speedball Mike Bailey. Anything that else that we want to rub hands across before we conclude the AEW Dynamite talk?
Well, if you didn't like the main event to Revolution, then I have good news. Because they're going to run it back as a street fight next week on Dynamite.
Yeah.
Do you think Christian will interfere?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of other things that happened on Dynamite, we complained last week about the women that they have in the company, saying they got any more women? Turns out they have one more. Her name is Megan Bain, and she appeared in multiple segments doing the exact same thing, because they're like, you guys want more women? How about just this one? She's apparently involved in multiple programs now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's been featured prominently over the past couple of weeks, you know?
Yeah, in the Discord.
No. Don't you do that, Paul. I know you have some disdain with AEW as a company.
The Discord that you can get
No.
Fatal4pod.com?
Yeah. Fatal4pod.com, FOUR. But, you know, Megan Bain has...
You are going to give us $3 to join the Discord.
Come on. She's been making the rounds across both platforms of AEW as far as wrestling. She's been racking up the wins. She's been, establishing herself in this brand. I mean, I know you don't like a lot of this stuff, but she has been here making her presence felt.
Okay, so she's going to feud with Toni Storm and Willow?
No, it was just like, I mean, the theme of the show is just like, fuck all y'all. I'm coming for the champ.
Okay, so she came for the champ first and then beat up Willow separately.
Because she's like, fuck all y'all.
I don't know, man. This show was paced very badly.
But counterpoint, Paul, this is AEW.
Okay.
That's all. I'm going to leave it at that.
Let's talk about some wrestling news then.
Mm-hmm.
I'm done with this AEW talk for the week.
Well, AEW might be merging some of their title belts.
Yeah, I mean, that's the word
Fightful
on
is
the street,
reporting,
right?
Yeah, Fightful is reporting that AEW has discussed the possibility of unifying the international and continental championships.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know why these titles exist. Please, less titles is better. Please combine them.
Yeah, because like,
immediately.
I mean, we complain about AEW having all these fucking belts or whatever. I mean, they're, you know, quote unquote, going across two companies and everything with all these different titles, to where like, as of current, WWE has more titles than AEW.
And Cody hasn't said anything about that.
No
People
shit.
on the internet are right. Everyone's so hard on AEW, but not WWE.
You old biased motherfucker, you.
Good. They should merge those titles.
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, hell, they should do a triple merge to where like they merge that with that and the fucking TNT title.
So I think, like, what I don't know about that. What I think is maybe the obvious thing, like what people assume the obvious thing is that Kenny wins and the international title would be the one that remains when merged. But counterpoint, what if Okada wins and we still get to have the G1 tournament thingy? The Continental Classic.
Well, because y'all did speak about that earlier, to where like the Continental Classic tournament is pretty cool. You know,
you can just call it something else or keep calling it that. Who cares?
But like, speaking of tournaments or whatever, I mean, there's the tournament that will decide the number one contender for the international championship or whatnot. I mean, we already seen Beast Mortals against Mike Bailey or whatever. We also had Hechicero versus Orange Cassidy, which Orange Cassidy eked that victory out and whatnot. So you already have Mike Bailey and Orange Cassidy, you know, already in the Fatal 4-Way to determine the number one contender. Next, we still have Ricochet versus Katsuyori Shibata, and we have Mark Briscoe versus Mark Davis, two Marks wrestling to see who would come out the winner.
All right.
The
two Marks wrestling for the Marks.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, that's all I got on this. I mean, Cope and Mox can like kiss my whole asshole. Like, I don't fucking care. Like for real, you know, just my opinion, AEW has been good outside of the world heavyweight title picture. That's all I'm gonna leave it at.
What else is in the news, Cody?
Well, we can talk about Jeff Cobb, who has wrestled in AEW, but we're going to transition over to WWE because apparently there's interest from WWE.
And
one source even claims to Fightful that Jeff Cobb is already on WWE's
their
internal roster.
Yeah. With you know, I'm not mad at, but like him going to WWE, I mean, it's a tale of two sides or whatnot. If he went to AEW, I wonder what the fuck they would do with him. If he went to WWE, I wonder what the fuck they would do with him. You know, because I mean, you have Bronson Reed.
I was about to say, have him fight Bronson Reed. They've done that before, but like, you know, it's just you have Bronson Reed, which you can do so many things with after his injury is healed up and everything. And I don't think this would be like a suitable replacement for him, which Jeff Cobb is highly capable. But like, if anything, with all the companies out there, I would send Jeff Cobb to TNA, which also is adjacent to WWE, but like, I believe he would get more exposure in TNA. And then he would still have the crossover bridge to WWE. All I'm saying is that I want to see Bronson Reed go for a tsunami, and then Jeff Cobb catch him and turn it into a tour of the islands.
Tour of the islands, yeah. As soon as you started saying it, I was like envisioning it. Yeah, I'm down with that. But I mean, it's good either way. I mean, there's interest. I mean, and it's obviously if they scooping him up, they're probably going to be paying him more money than he was already getting previously, and he probably wouldn't have to travel as much. But then again, He is the Filipino World Heavyweight Champion for one of those promotions out there, one of the islands.
Take a tour.
Yeah, take a tour. Anyway,
I don't know.
I'm excited either way.
He can like hang out in NXT. I don't think he does anything beyond that. I don't know. He doesn't interest me. What I've seen of him is very unremarkable.
You ain't seen enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
I don't know. I personally think Jeff Cobb in WWE would be a disaster.
Oh no.
Hey, speaking of disasters, the natural disasters are apparently going to be
national disasters going on right now.
Oh yeah.
Hey, natural disasters, typhoon and earthquake, are apparently headed to the WWE Hall of Fame.
That's kind of weird to me, but I mean, I'm not mad at it. Big part of my childhood.
Weird that they're not already in.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I mean, Coco Beware is in there, so like, I guess it shouldn't be that weird.
You know what is weird is that when Earthquake debuted, he was like in his 20s.
Yeah, and he looked like 35, 40.
People looked so fucking old back then. What the
Yeah.
fuck?
Yeah, no shit, man.
It's because you could smoke indoors.
That's
true.
true.
We'll probably be coming back soon now that RFK's around.
Mm-hmm.
It's good for you. Everybody should smoke indoors with their measles.
Yeah, taking the fluoride out of the water.
It's like how Jason Alexander was like 27 or something in the first episode of Seinfeld. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, they look so old in Seinfeld.
They do.
Cool,
yeah,
I guess.
Good for them.
Yeah, natural disasters.
Oh, and hey, here's something. You guys were talking about Big Bronson Reed earlier, but you might not have to call him Big anymore because...
Whoa, he lost a lot of weight? Ozempic Bronson Reed?
No.
Is that where he's been?
If you go to WWE.com and look at the roster page, you'll notice this week that some folks lost their nicknames. The Big has been removed from Bronson Reed, the Dirty has been removed from Dominic, and the Frickin' has been removed from Seth Frickin' Rollins.
I'm fine with
found
that.
Dominic to be that dirty anyway. He looked pretty clean, all things considered.
Did Seth look frickin' to you?
I don't know what that means, but I've always hated it.
I don't mind. I like the like revolutionary.
I hate it.
Whatever his whole shit is, Seth freaking Rollins. Like that's fine. But the fact that it was like his name and it was on like the nameplates and in the video games and you get
on
his
the roster
Topps trading cards and they say Seth freaking Rollins, like that's too much. So if they are pulling back from that, I think that's great. But like, yeah, you can still call him Dirty Dom and you can still call him Big Bronson Reed. I think that's fine. But like, it doesn't have to be their official names.
Yeah.
I think that's a good thing. Get rid of more of those.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are there any others? I don't think there's really anyone else who.
The phenomenal AJ Styles.
Yeah, but they never like officially put that in his name. Also, if you play WWE 2K25, he's actually the Phenomenal Ons.
Yeah, the phenomenal Ons, and then like what Pete Dunne's shit is wrong.
It's backwards.
How did that happen?
AI.
I know, but like, what was the command to make accurate logos look wrong?
Yeah, it's very weird, especially because like they've had all of that shit in games past. Like AJ's attire is not that different from
just ask for the PNG
ones.
from WWE to put on the fucking gear. They've had it before.
Yeah,
also
that definitely screams AI to me.
Have you ever asked AI to make a logo?
Yeah,
it don't look good. It looks like dog shit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't make logos. They make podcast art.
Yeah.
They better fix all of that. That needs to be like a patch quickly.
Well, they
did.
Like,
oops.
They did fix the CM Punk one because that one, his shirt said "Best in the World."
Yeah, best I
in the world.
Yeah, they've already patched that, so I assume they'll patch the rest. But goddamn,
Did you know that Jacob Fatu has a shirt that says "All gas, no brakes"?
Yes.
That dude's just farting up a storm out there.
Cody just mentioned like the CM Punk shirt. It reminded me of that video of the bowler guy. He was like, "Who do you think you are? I am."
Oh yeah, that guy. I love that guy.
More like Jacob Fart too.
Oh
Yeah.
no! Oh no!
What a shirt! All gas.
Well, anyway, speaking of podcast art,
There he goes.
What a stinker.
speaking of podcast art, we've got plenty more art to come, so stick around after this break where we will talk about NXT and WWE television.
And we are back, finally talking about some WWE stuff because they did some shows this last week that we got to talk about. First, we're going to talk about NXT because they did some things on NXT. Being,
you sure you don't want to talk about AEW some more?
I don't want to talk about AEW for at least a week. So NXT was from Madison Square Garden Theater, which is right next to Madison Square Garden. It's a smaller venue, and partially because Raw was there the night before. Kind of an interesting setup for an NXT show since it was a theater.
Mm-hmm.
They had a weird like they set up the camera on the stage where the audience would be watching somebody.
Huh.
It kind of looked cool. I liked it. It was it made it look huge. What didn't make it look huge was the tiny Titantron facing the crowd. But that was neat. And they had a match for the TNA Tag Team Championships between Fraxium and the Hardy Boys.
Yeah.
And B-Rob, I don't know what you've been on, but these Hardy Boys, they're pretty fucking good. I think they can go.
Paul.
This match was awesome.
Paul.
And they were really good.
Paul.
They should get called up.
Paul. Fuck and you.
Hang on. I'm talking about the Hardy Boys.
No.
Matt and Jeff.
Nah.
Both of them. Here's the thing.
Fuck
I seen that
Matt Hardy. Fuck Jeff Hardy. Fuck Tom Hardy. Fuck Hardy, the country singer. Anybody with the Hardy Association.
Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
Tom
Fuck
Hardy
all that.
do? Venom.
Yeah. All of them.
And Bane. Like some real dog shit in there.
Fun.
Well, Bane is
No.
okay.
Bane
I give
was
him a
not
pass
fun.
for that. But fuck everything else.
There's only one
like-
Bane we
I
like
like it.
here, and it's Chocolate Bane.
Thought we weren't talking about AEW anymore.
Wanted to. Yeah, so
Second
the Hardy
longest match on the third longest match on the card.
The Hardys, I seen this match and then their match with the No Quarter Catch crew, and I do not understand what happened in AEW with them because they're good again. I don't know what's going on.
Talking
about.
Nah.
Did you watch it?
I mean, it's it's been well documented from this podcast and beyond that Paul likes bad things.
I don't know.
I think you guys should watch it.
Nah.
But we also might be forgetting the fact that they were in the ring with
Fraxium.
probably the best tag team in the world right now. So,
No shit.
Yeah, the Hardy Boys.
No. Shut the fuck up. Next match, please.
Speaking of bad things, Obafemi defended the NXT title against Moose. Moose being the bad thing here.
Was that before Jordan Grace and Roxanne?
We're not talking about that because it doesn't matter. Nothing happened.
What?
It was just a match on the show, B-Rob.
Okay.
We don't get all of it here.
Okay.
Oba won. Everybody kept their belts, essentially.
Yeah.
If they're cross promotion, which should be expected.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what... I
wanted something to change, but, whatever.
I just... Moose? Like... The ship sailed on him years ago. Why are they giving him a spotlight on NXT?
Moose?
Just do Obafemi and Joe Hendry. People like that. Anyway, Ethan Page took on Javon Evans.
What a hoot.
This was a plunder match that was awesome.
Yeah.
I saw the, like, what was it, a cutter through the table that Javon did?
Cut her through the table, cut her through the chair. Just
the finish was what stood out to me was
he
had the chair wrapped around Ethan Page's head, and then he did the springboard cutter onto Ethan Page into the chair, and it was just a stunning spot. Not to be or I guess it would be outdone in the main event, because the main event was Giulia defending against Stephanie Vaquer, who was also defending winner take all women's titles.
Yeah.
And this fucking ruled. I know people have been saying that Giulia might be injured.
Yeah.
She wasn't wrestling like it. I don't think she's hurt. I think they're just doing something cool.
Yeah. Also, like, what I've observed of Giulia, because, like, you know, didn't get all of it. Japan kind of introduced me to her or whatever. It's just like her style is, you know, very erratic, and it seems like when she does something, it's just like I can't really explain it. It's awkward as fuck. It's just like the missile drop, the front drop kick off the top rope or whatever, to where it looked like she banged all the back of her fucking head and shoulders and all kinds of shit or whatever, to where she just kind of got up, staggered around. It's like she does shit and she just omits her fucking wrestling training and shit to protect herself.
That being said, though, it cannot be overstated how clean that when Stephanie Vaquer did her corkscrew moonsault, and Giulia caught her with her legs into the submission.
I don't think you could have
that was so
done
clean.
that better. Yeah. That was like the perfect counter, and it looked good. There's nothing wrong with it. That seems like something you'd fuck up, 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
They hit.
I don't think Ethan and Javon could have pulled that off as well.
No, but it ruled. And the finish came when Vaquer hit 3 of her little backbreaker doohickeys.
Yeah, I don't like that.
It kind of looks like a transition move.
Yeah,
doesn't feel like a finish. But she won. Now she has both titles, and
all the yams.
Yeah, that's it. So that was NXT. Pretty good show this week. Especially because the Hardys kicked it off. Also, on some stuff worth talking about.
Action
SmackDown.
wore glasses.
SmackDown is a tough show to get through, but they did some shit this week that unfortunately we do have to talk about. First being Randy Orton cut a kick-ass promo to open this show.
It was
probably one of the more memorable Orton promos in a long time, mainly because he never has anything to talk about. He finally does. But he talked about like coming back from his back injury and not taking anything for granted and letting stuff, kind of slide off your shoulders or whatever. But Kevin Owens has pissed him off, and now he is going to destroy him.
Yeah, he hears the voices again.
Yeah. Another thing that was great, seek this out. I know everybody's like, seek out wrestling matches. Don't bother. Seek out Nick Aldis explaining the tag division.
Oh, that was great.
This dude pulls up a dry erase board with pictures of all 4 or 5 tag teams on it and explains how we got here. And he's just drawing lines back and forth and back and forth. And you know what? Makes sense. It's pretty great.
It's Always Sunny, the fucking yarn board.
It was really funny. And then when he was done, he said, it's really simple when you think about it.
Yeah.
Which is tremendous.
Go on YouTube and type in Pepe Silva.
And what else is here? Oh, unfortunately, I have to give Naomi a ton of credit.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
This was an incredible segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was something I didn't know they had in them.
Mm-hmm.
Naomi and Bianca acting was...
Acting!
It was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Bianca's like, hey, Naomi, did you fuck up Jade? And they like had this whole thing.
Yeah, player.
And then, both of them start crying and they start screaming at each other. And eventually Naomi admits to it and Bianca gets real sad and leaves. And Naomi starts getting angrier and calling her a bitch.
That shit was wild to me.
It was so
She's
good.
like screaming. Like the tenor of her voice got like abrasive in a like abrasive parentheses positive. Like just she was really just selling how upset and angry she was.
Yeah, and then like throughout
honestly, one of the best promos and segments maybe I've seen in wrestling in a long time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And then like throughout the tail end of that or whatever, they showed on the Titantron fucking not Bianca, so many black women. Goddamn, Jade
thinks they all look the same.
Yeah, I sure do. Jade pulls up in a freaking SUV and just beelines to the arena and everything. Yeah. I was like, oh
Bianca
shit.
was just like, go ahead.
She's like, fuck it. Fuck it, just go.
Yeah, and then Jade beat the shit out of her.
Pummeled her. But I mean, what's also been like great and funny at the same time to come out of this is just the back and forth between Jade and Naomi on like the respective social media and shit. She's like, just her Jade Cargill making her, I think, ex profile picture of her standing over Naomi, and then Naomi making her profile picture, the picture of Jade laying out on the hood of the car and shit. And then just little quips back and forth across Instagram posts and all kinds of different shit.
Also, I have to shout out Naomi's bedazzled neck brace that she wore to the red carpet for the Queen of the Ring premiere.
Mm-hmm. And I like Jade's freaking I've been damaged gear and shit.
Oh yeah, she had the blood splatter all over her jumpsuit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then like I don't think they showed it on air, but like I sent it to y'all, the promo package that Jay did. Like, I'm tired of being somebody's side thing, or like I'm the main event, yada 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 yada, and like it led to her profile picture on her Instagram to where she was covered in blood and all kinds of cool shit. A lot of good imagery in this promo package. You should sort it out if you haven't seen it.
Another thing worth calling out, Alba Fries, who survived the last wave of releases, is now part of the Chelsea Green Secret Service.
No, it's I think it's the Slay some service or some shit.
I think she calls it the Secret Hervis.
Hervis?
I don't know. It's
something like that. Something silly.
She was, I don't know. It's silly and fun, and I don't hate it. I also had a Cody promo call out here for some reason. I don't remember what he talked about, so probably not worth talking about now. And then LA Knight won the U.S. title again off Shinsuke Nakamura, which
Cody's wish came true.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I don't like either of these guys, but I hate LA Knight slightly less than Nakamura. So,
well, over on the Raw,
Cody promo was about Cena, by the way.
They're all about Cena. That's his program going to Mania. You won't believe what he talked about on Raw.
Was it Cena?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cena will be there next week because Raw is, for the next 3 weeks, they're doing overseas stuff. And for the first time for us American folks, we can watch it when it happens.
Going on in the afternoon.
3 p.m. East Coast, Monday. I've already blocked my work calendar. Someone's going to put a fucking meeting on it. I just know it.
I'm going to watch it at work.
And then 4 p.m. next week, and then 3 p.m. the week after, and then back to normal 8 p.m. What a fun time for watching wrestling in the afternoons. What am I going to do with my Monday night?
Go to sleep, motherfucker?
I just talked about in the break that I don't go to sleep anymore.
Well, you better daggone take an extra shot or get some Z-Quil, motherfucker.
This East Coast is fucking me up with the sleep schedule. And then they changed the clocks last weekend. Who does that?
You could always recreate the episode of WWE Monday Night Raw that you watched in the afternoon in WWE 2K25.
Which I am enjoying right now.
I have my shit set up. I can't do that.
Stream it.
I don't know how to do that.
Internet.
Anyway, on the Raw side, I only have one thing here. It's the Seth Rollins and CM Punk cage match. Oh. I know that there was some other stuff to talk about. Chad Gable showing up not under the mask.
Gracias!
Was very funny. He shows up under the mask, then he yells at Kathy Kelly for accusing him of being under the mask, and some guy's getting arrested wearing the mask in the background. Good comedy. Not something you get from
Good
WWE
stuff.
often.
Yeah, and then like the internet conspiracy of it all is just like it's the intro to Rey Fenix, and it's like loosely a Lucha Underground tie-in.
B-Rob, you got to delete Facebook.
No, this is not just Facebook.
You got to get off Instagram. You got to get a dumb phone.
Nah, man, it's fun to talk about. I think stuff like that is cool.
Just people making bad graphics on the internet.
Yeah, I mean that's your tick, but whatever.
Main event: Seth Rollins, CM Punk, steel cage match. Cody's favorite match of the year.
Well, no, hold on. I already said
It's
what
not
that was
because
earlier.
he didn't put it in the thread.
This was good. This was very good. But I think the real piece of business here was the finish and the post-match stuff.
People have been saying for the last month that it's just going to be Roman and Seth, and I'm like, guys, they set up a triple threat at the Rumble.
Yeah.
That's going to be the case the whole time, and here we are.
I did like the way we got to it, which was, these two hate each other, and so they were trying to beat the hell out of each other, and they were not trying to escape the cage. In fact, they were kind of egging their opponent on and opening the cage door and being like, go ahead, escape. I enjoyed that sequence, and I enjoyed how it paid off with Rollins standing there in front of the open cage door and, after getting hit with a million GTSs, considering leaving the ring, instead he gets dragged out by Roman Reigns.
Hold
the
up,
big dog is back.
At this point, he had hit Punk with numerous stomps.
Yeah.
Exchange.
Right, no, but I'm saying
He hit him with GTS and the stomp, yeah.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that he had taken a bunch of GTSs himself and finally had the upper hand and was like,
then got dragged out.
Right, he could,
costing Punk the match and leading to a big brawl with Roman beating the hell out of Seth and
hitting a stomp himself.
At one point, there was a camera shot of Paul Heyman in the cage with CM Punk, which I'm not sure how he got there, but he just appeared out of nowhere, and Roman didn't like this. Roman didn't like this at all, and then he came in. Yeah, he came in and speared Punk, and the show closed with Roman and Heyman in the background picking allegiances for a minute. So I think this is the main event tonight.
I think it should be Rhea, Bianca, and Io Sky because they also had a great segment on Raw too.
I agree.
The opener,
but Roman's main eventing.
That's what he does.
So here's the thing: I'm a little conflicted, right? Because as a massive CM Punk fan, I very much want Punk to main event or WrestleMania. It's what he deserved a decade ago. It's what he deserves now. He's the biggest star in the business, and so is Roman. And it makes sense, yes. But part of this story is the fact that Seth Rollins has cost Punk the opportunity to main event WrestleMania at every turn here. And I feel like
he shouldn't be in the main.
He shouldn't be in the main event because of that. Like, or else it kind of doesn't matter what Seth Rollins has done to Punk. Like, Punk shouldn't be mad at Rollins. It's like, okay, you did all this to me, but you ended up giving me the main event anyway.
Maybe one of the pieces of the angle is Rollins politicking to be the opening match.
That could be interesting if they do something like that. But I don't know. Part of me is like, maybe you don't do it a main event and let Punk get the title match next year and hold off
if he earns it.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, I think the last time I was on, this would be a good, or well, not a good, but like a telling thing for CM Punk coming over back to this company or whatever. If how humble he can be, if he really pushing for this main event spot, or if he can just like, sit back. And be
are we really buying into that? Punk really wants to main event WrestleMania so bad that holding it over his head for another year is going to make him a toxic guy in the background who beats the fuck out of Grayson Waller or something? Because if so, He should. But let's be real. This guy is corporate and is a good boy as he can be. He just hated working at AEW.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just like, we're going to see how humble he's going to be. You know, if he's going to be the company guy, or he's just going to be a whiny bitch boy and be like, I want my main event.
He's the company guy.
Yeah, so he's going to shut the fuck up and do what the booking dictates. Not
They're telling a story. Of course he is. He shut the fuck up and did what the booking dictated in AEW.
No, he did.
He did.
He never went, and he got himself fired.
No, he didn't whine and get fired. He beat the hell out of somebody.
Yeah, exactly. It's a physical way of whining.
And walked himself right into a bigger deal somewhere else.
Well, yeah, I mean, for him, yeah. Like I said, we'll see.
You got to get off Facebook.
I'm not. No, it's not that. It's just like you want to
see him this man. He's not in the main event. What could this mean for WrestleMania? Nothing.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm agreeing with you at the same time. I'm just saying it different. I'm just like, will he be humble and like not worry about being in the main event? Just grateful that he's in the company, doing good things, making money and shit, or is he going to whine about it?
I don't think CM Punk, the human being, gives a fuck about if he's
making money. Yes, I agree with you.
Because it's all an act. It's all a show. He does not care.
Yeah, it's because he's making money. I get it.
Well, folks, we didn't get all of it this week. But we'll try again next week. Wait, no, we won't. Are we skipping next week?
Are we?
I think we're taking next week off. Stay tuned. But we'll try again in 2 weeks if we're not here next week. Also, head over to the Patreon and sign up for all that stuff. We're going to do a huge mailbag show to commemorate almost 1 year of Fatal 4 podcast, featuring all of the hosts. So us four and Kaz and Will and Tyler will all be there. We're all gonna. I haven't told Tyler this yet. We're all gonna do a mailbag. I'll make a post in the Patreon so you guys can submit questions, ask us what this is all about, things like that. Whatever the fuck you want to talk about. It could be nothing. Anyway, for the Fatal 4, Cody and P-Rob and Pro Wrestling Noah, I've been Paul. Have a great week. Goodbye.
You've been listening to a Fatal 4 podcast. Subscribe today wherever you get your podcasts and visit fatal4pod.com for more episodes, merchandise, and info on the Patreon.